Sir, you're mute. Sir, you're mute.
Sorry for that. Hi everyone, good evening everyone. How you all? Let's see who all are there. Okay, Ans is there, God War Gaming is there, Syed is there, Sanket is there, and VK is there. Is that Virat Kohli? VK? Okay, just kidding. So, yep. So, how are you all? Mayuresh is there. Mayuresh is there. Sejal, Ansari, Aman, Sanket. Hello guys, how are you doing? Everyone they out there. No, we'll not do use Python here. This is about a web app. We'll be building a web app project. You are already seeing your what should I call developer, trainer come developer. Saurabh sir is there, is an amazing trainer come developer. Actually, he's a senior developer. So he would actually build a project live in front of you. We'll build here a nutrition website kind of thing. Okay, using this Node.js, JavaScript, and all. So isn't it cool, guys? We'll build a project here live. A web app project we'll do here. So that would be interesting, I guess, and I hope even if it's not interesting, but Saurabh sir would make it sure that it would be interesting for you all. I'm pretty much sure about that. So before we move on to this thing, I need to tell you a few things, guys. So like as you all know, like we'll be doing in our LMS tomorrow. Tomorrow, no YouTube, no chat here. Okay, so we have to go to our LMS. So let me show you how exactly you can watch the session. Like we'll also have a session tomorrow, right? At the same time. So how to watch? Not on the YouTube. You have to get into our system, get into our LMS. So let me show you how you have to go to our LMS and watch the session, the next part, the second session of the same. Yeah, I'll quickly do it so that I don't waste your time and you building the project as soon as possible. Right. Okay. So, yeah, this is the thing. I hope it's visible to you all. This is not the thing I want to show you. First of all, just all of you, what you have to do is you have to go to www.letsupgrade.in and create account there, log into the system, guys. Once you log in, this is the thing you would see. Okay, like here your name would be shown. So here you can go to this My Programs menu over here. So when you hover here, it would show you My Programs. You'll click on the My Programs and it will show you a dashboard containing all the programs you are enrolled into. There are so many classes I have enrolled into. I don't know when I would complete all this stuff, but you don't have to worry about this thing. Just have to worry about one thing, that is web app project development. Okay, so this is where you should find it. But before that, see, as even I am not getting this web app project session. So where is it actually? Where is it? So I think you might have all got a link for the registration of this web app. So you need to register there, guys. Once you register there, when you enroll for this session, you'd find your session, find this session detail over here. Okay, let me show you one thing actually. Let me pick up any one thing. So this is one of the program which is currently running actually, not today, but again, it would be there on Monday and Tuesday. So this is how it would show you up. Like there are 5 classes in this program. It will show you 2 classes for this project session. So you can click there. Like tomorrow you have to click on day 2. So just click on day 2 there. Okay, your web app project session, and you'd have the session over here. You can click on it and the video would play. And regarding the attendance, I see most of you are worried about the attendance, where to put attendance and all. So what you can do is, okay, my bad. Just give me a moment, guys. Yep, that's fine. So you can see here, we have a chat section over here on the right. Obviously, it would not be available this thing now because this is a different session as it in whole. So if you move on to the web app project session, you can also do it today. You can come along with me. You have already registered, I hope. So go there and you have the chat here. So you can click on it and you can have you can interact with the trainer also. Our program moderator would be there. So this is where you need to put attendance. Like you can select, let's say I'll put an awesome, and here I'll just write it's great, let's say. Okay, it's great, and you just have to click on save, and the particular attendance would be saved. Okay, yeah, it's some constant are there, you have to match it. That's how you put your attendance. Okay, that's it guys, that's how you would watch the session and nothing more. So you have already seen your trainer Saurabh sir over there, he's there. I want to introduce one more person over here, that is Gargi. So she would be there, I can say she would be your voice in this entire session. So you'll be asking doubts, right? So she would be the one to carry over your doubt and convey it to Saurabh sir, so that your doubts will not remain unresolved, and every doubt of yours would be solved. Okay, that's where we are moving ahead. So yep, Saurabh sir, we can go ahead, move ahead. So that's it I had to say. I am in the backstage now. Anything comes up, I'll again jump in. Yeah, Gargi, you can
Okay.
also take it from your head.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. And welcome, Gagi. I'm meeting you for the first time. So thank you for being my
Yeah.
coordinator and supporter. Okay,
Yes.
guys. So
So, hi guys.
yeah.
Yes, just feel free to ask any questions. As Saurabh sir told you, that I'll be your face. Like, if you have any doubts, any questions at any point, just feel free to write it in the chat box, and I will make sure that I post those queries to Saurabh sir. Okay? Yes, sir. You can continue.
Okay then. So hello guys, like welcome back again to my session. I see familiar names in the chat. So welcome back to you people. I really like you people being here with me in my courses. So this is again not a essential course, and this is not an advanced course. This is like a 2 day session on how to build a project, in which I will actually create a complete project, not only back end or not only front end, a complete project from scratch, from start to end, right? So in this case, I'm assuming you might be knowing a little bit of programming, right? In Node.js, in React.js, a little bit of it, and a little bit of MongoDB. Even if you don't know these things at all, don't worry, because I'm starting from very scratch. But as I'm telling you, this is not tutorial kind of a thing. This is a project building session. So I'm actually going to build a project step by step, and I'm also going to explain everything to you, right? But I'm just assuming that you are a little bit of familiar with programming, because I'm not teaching things from scratch. I'm building a project from scratch, right? So please understand the difference, and you can enjoy the session after that, right? Because I'm going to like tell you everything like very basically, very simply, step by step, and I'll be creating everything for you. Okay. So now the first thing is, what is this project? Like it is already written in the title that we are building a nutrition website, right? So what is this actually, right? So first things to clear, we are not building a website that will just showcase some kind of gym equipments, or some kind of what you call foods or something like that. We're actually building what you can say a macro calculator, right? Something very useful. So I think you have seen like apps like MyFitnessPal or Healthify Me, right? Where you go. So whenever you feel like, okay, I want to track my calories, or when you join gym, right, you go on a diet, right? So you feel I want to track my calories, I want to track my protein intake, I want to take my like track my carbohydrate intake, something like that, right? So for that, you generally download MyFitnessPal app or Healthify Me app, where you go on, you add the food, right, and you get whatever the amount of protein in that food is, whatever the amount of carbohydrate, fats, fibers, whatever amount of detail you have in that food, you add it and you store it, so that at the end of the day you can see how much calories you had, how much protein you had, how much carbohydrates, how much fats, how much fibers you had. So this is the information that you get, right? So basically it's your day wise nutrition tracking, day wise calorie tracking, so that you can build a healthy habit, healthy body and everything, right? So this is what we are going to build. So this is the thing. Okay, is the project understood to everyone? Okay, so see, we are not going to focus on a lot on designing, because the first aim like of my here is to create and complete the project, right? That is what I want to do in this project. Then if we get time like half an hour or 15 minutes at the end of the session, I'll definitely design it for you. But don't worry, we are not going to take it very leniently. We'll still create a good design, because we are going to include bootstrap or something like that, so we'll still get a good design. right? But we'll not do a very fancy design. But yes, the backend, the database, everything will be there, right? Okay, so is the project understood? That's great. Now, then I'll introduce you to the technologies I'm going to use, right? I'm going to use. So the first thing, I'll talk about database. So for database, I'm going to use MongoDB. And if you don't know MongoDB, don't freak out, don't get frightened, because it is going to be very simple. I'm going to explain you how I'm starting with things, how I'm going to install MongoDB, how I'll create my database, how I'll create my collection, how I will connect my MongoDB to programming language, how I'll connect it to the Node.js. So don't worry, I'll be doing everything for you. Okay, so if you know, that's great. If you don't know, don't freak out. You'll understand everything. Okay, and then we'll create our backend in Node.js, right? One of the most famous technologies going around nowadays. Every company, every startup is using Node.js to create their backends, right? So the API, the backend that we are going to create will be in Node.js. So MongoDB will be our database. Node.js will help us to create the backend API. So yes, we are creating an API for us. Okay. And then so today we'll be creating the whole backend. Today's session is all about the backend. And then tomorrow when we'll resume, we'll start with the front end, right? And the front end that we'll create will be in React, right? So again, a new thing to learn. I'm gonna install a React project in front of you. I'm gonna start everything in front of you. So you'll actually understand how to use React. So, and because it is a very small project, it's not a very big project, so you'll understand everything, right? If it was a very big project, then it will be a little tougher for you to start from this. But it is a very small and clean project, so you'll understand everything. I will make sure that. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so MongoDB is our backend, Node.js to create the backend API, and React to create the front end. These are the three things. Don't worry, Ayushi. For people who don't have knowledge of Node.js, you will understand it today. Even if you knew a little bit of JavaScript, you will understand it today. Okay, because again, I'm saying it is a very small project, so I'll definitely make sure that you understand everything, right? Okay, so if you don't know, it's totally fine. And today's session will be 1.5 hours long, so hopefully we'll complete the backend. And Nayan is asking what will be the main features of our project. The main feature will be like I'll just talk about the project as a client. So if I'm a user, I'll come on the website, I'll see a page where there will be a search bar, right? Where there will be a search bar. I will search, okay, I had this food. So I'll write, okay, I had rice, right? So I'll write rice and how much rice I had. Did I had 100 grams of rice or 2 cups of rice or a one bowl of rice? I'll select the proper unit of how much I had. So let's say I write, I had rice, 100 grams. So then I will get the details of 100 grams of rice, how much carbs it has, how much protein, how much fiber, how much fat, how much calories it has. And then I'll be able to add it to my routine. So I'll be having a button, add to routine. If I click that, it will be added in my today's routine. Okay, so that is something what we are going to do. We'll add it in our routine. Okay, and then we can add multiple foods in our routine. And then after that, we can also see what I had yesterday, what all food I had on 1st of April, what all foods I had on 31st of March, or something like that. Okay, so as a user, I'll come, I'll search for a food, I'll select the unit of how much I had, I can see the macros, and then I can say, okay, I want to add this in a routine because I had it. So even if I'm coming for checking, I can check the food details. Even if I want to add those food in my routine, I can add and I can see it anytime. Okay, so I can see my food based on any kind of date. I can see how much what I had on 21st. I can see what I had on 25th. So I can basically track my calories. I can track my nutrition day wise. So this is the project. And no, we are not going to use any external thing. Everything will be built by us. So we are going to build literally everything: the back end, the front end, the API, everything. Okay, is that clear, everyone? And don't worry, I'm going to explain you each and every tool that we are going to use. Okay, and I'll also show you the link from where to download. I can't download everything because it will take a lot of time, but don't worry, I'll explain you how to download, and I'll show you each and every tool that I'm going to use. Okay, is that clear, everyone? I hope we can move ahead now, right? I hope we can move ahead. Is everyone clear with the project? Is everyone cleared with how the project will look like? Okay, it is like one of the most fun projects because only there are few apps to track nutrition, right? So we are actually building that thing. So I really hope that you guys are excited now. So please show me some excitement in the chats, and then we can move on after this. Okay, that's great. A lot of people have understood this. Okay, Now, the first thing that you need here is, so first of all, I'll take a browser window for you. And I really hope that you can see my screen. So I'll take a browser window for you. And here we go. This is the browser. So now the first thing, Nayan, we are going to use class-based component. Nayan, Jane is asking, will we use functional components? We are going to use class-based components. Okay, Nayan? Is that clear? Okay, then let's move ahead now. Okay. So the first thing that the most important thing that we need here is something called as Node.js, right? So you just go on and search for Node.js download, and I'll also explain for people who don't know what is Node.js, I'll also explain what it is actually. So just think of it like this: Node.js is nothing but a JavaScript runtime, or you can say it's a environment to run JavaScript. That's it, right? Normally, the environment to run JavaScript is the browser. That's why whenever we write JavaScript, we write it with HTML so that we can execute it in the browser. But Node.js gives you the power to execute JavaScript outside the browser, anywhere in your computer. That's why we'll be able to create backend using JavaScript. Now see, Node.js is not a language. Remember, Node.js is not a language. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime, right? It's an environment to run JavaScript. So it will basically give you the power to run JavaScript outside the browser, right? Initially, it was JavaScript was only running inside the browser. That's why it was only getting used in client side, getting used as client side. Now then, after Node.js, we can also use JavaScript as a server side, as a backend development program, right? Like backend development language because of Node.js. So Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. Remember this, it's not a programming language. So this is the first thing that you have to install or download, right? So you link this first link, click on this first link, and then depending on your OS, install anything. So basically, my OS is 64-bit Windows, so I click on this. Right after this, I have already installed it, so I'm not going to do it again. But for you, it's very simple. Just click on this. Exe file will be downloaded. Double click on it. Next, 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 and install, and everything is settled up. After that, Node.js will be in your PC. And to confirm if it is there in your PC, what you can do is you can just go after installing Node.js, you can open a command prompt. Okay? I hope you can see my font here. So you can open a command prompt, and then
Excuse me, sir.
you can just yes, Subrat sir, tell me.
I just came up an important announcement is there to make. So
Yes.
should I do that? Sorry for
Yes,
interrupting
please do
though.
it, sir. No,
Yeah,
sir.
sure.
Please.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, so I have an important announcement, but before that, you need to see this, and we would be, I'll make that announcement.
Hey guys, this is Tiger from LetsUpgrade.
I'm Mohit, your trainer for full stack programming in Python and Django.
I'm Saurabh, your trainer for the full stack mobile development course.
I'm Subrat Paswani, your trainer for data structure and algorithm with placement preparation course.
I'm Smith Shah, your trainer for the machine learning and AI module.
I'm Vinolan Jarmaya, your trainer for full stack cloud computing and DevOps program.
LetsUpgrade has come up with the best online course for you guys, having 200 plus hours of live lectures,
200 plus hour of real-time projects,
And also with practically related assignments.
You will be building 15 plus projects with the industry-based curriculum created by the professional
Jobs part of the whole program. So this program is going to be a 6 months live, and after the 6 months, we will be having a job portal dedicated. It's again an AI-based job portal.
Let's start building applications like how a developer is building it in Google, Amazon, Netflix.
be a part of this wholesome course.
Register with the link given below. Hurry up, limited seats only.
See you soon at class.
Yep. So, guys, I'm here to announce something actually right now. So that's we have an amazing offer for you. So, coupon code for our full stack courses. So, Keetana, would you do the honors to share the same with them? So, guys, it's a like one-time offer we are giving, one-time discount offer. So it's a special offer for this web project session. As you can see, your Saurabh sir is all up, like is trying to feed you with the all important details. Also, Saurabh sir is running on more full stack course, which would like the classes would start from Monday. Also, we are launching Python with Django full stack on the same day. Okay, so the classes would start on from the next week onward, this coming week. And also, we are launching some other full stack courses. Like we are launching full stack course in data science, full stack programming, AI/ML, full stack course in uh, like cloud computing and all. We are also launching full stack in data structure and algorithm. So all sort of this placement related stuff. Okay, all those things would be there. If you're looking for placement and all, you can also get enrolled there. So we're giving a coupon, guys. So this would be valid for only today and tomorrow. That is within this project web app web project session. Okay, if you enroll for the course within the time limit, that is till tomorrow, before tomorrow end of the day, if you enroll for it, you would have a discount of 2,000 rupees. Okay, already there is a discount. So upon it, you will have another discount of 2,000 rupees. So we are sharing it. Kirtana, have you started sharing the same to them? Yep, it has been shared. So all this thing is there. Okay, can we just share it as a single bundle, Kirtana? Just a single bundle. Just put it as a single bundle. That would be great. So that they can actually think of like, okay, these are the different programs are there, and they can select anything between them, right? That would be great. Okay, and then also let me also put it in the chat of LMS. Yeah, Kirtana, also could you put also in the LMS chat, because some people are also there. Then they would complain, okay, you didn't give us the coupon code, only the YouTube guys got the coupon. So we don't want that complaint from our students. So let's share on both the thing, like share it on the YouTube, share it also in the chat of LMS. Okay, so guys, so this is you can say one-time offer, I would say. Okay, so you just have to like enroll before tomorrow. Before tomorrow in the sense before end of this end of tomorrow. Okay, so within this web app project session, so today and tomorrow, so it's a web app like special offer, you can say. Okay, Saurabh sir came up with this offer for this with the web project session. So he has come up with coupon code for your full stack courses. So according to you, like whatever project full stack course you want to get enrolled in, just use this coupon code and you'll have 2,000 off. Okay, so that's what I had to announce. That's it. So yeah, Saurabh sir, sorry to interrupt again. You can carry on.
Not a problem, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, guys, so let's start again. And I can see competition between Java and like Java is old or new going on. Okay, that's fine. That's a healthy competition to talk about the languages. That's fine. Okay, then let's move ahead. So once you have installed Node.js, like it's just download it from the website, double click on it, right? And then do the normal uh, acceptance of agreement, next, and it will be installed normally. After that, just to check that if it is installed or not, you can just go in your command prompt, type node space -v. If it gives you the version, that means the node is installed. If it is not giving you the version, that means you have not installed node correctly or the path is missing. 99% of the times it will be installed properly. If it is not, then you just have to see through it, right? Or if you have any problem, you can go on the community, paste it, and I'll solve it for you. Okay, so this is one thing that you have to install for now, right? So for the backend session, this is one thing you have to install. The second thing that you have to install is MongoDB. So you just search for like in my case, I search for MongoDB for Windows. You can search for MongoDB for Linux or whatever is yours for Mac or something like that. So I can just go on this, install MongoDB Community Edition. So basically, it's a free MongoDB server that you get. Okay, so just click on this, right? And after that, it's very simple. You'll just get this exe file. See, just click on this link, get a exe file, double click on it, and that's it. Done. Next, install it, right? Remember one thing, while installing the MongoDB Community Edition, you'll have an option of installing Compass. you can either select it or deselect it. I will suggest you to select it, right? While installing MongoDB, like when you get the exe and you double click on it, while installing it, you'll get the option of installing Compass. You can say yes or no, or maybe check or uncheck it, right? Remember to check it. I'll suggest you that. Okay, once you check it, so basically MongoDB server will be installed in your computer, right? That means you can run MongoDB in your PC, and then a software named MongoDB Compass will also be installed. That will basically help you to interact with the MongoDB server in a more better way, in a more easy way. That's why I want you to install that, so that working with databases becomes a lot easier for you, right? So these are the two things that you have to install for basically today, while for development of the backend, right? Is that clear? Okay, I hope it is cleared. So first is basically Node.js. Second is the MongoDB server that you'll get from this. Just download it. Just go on the internet, write down MongoDB for whatever OS you have, download it, install it. Also, don't forget to check on the Compass, install Compass. It's basically a tool that will help you to access the MongoDB server in a better way. I'll show you that. Don't worry. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? So these are the two things that you have to install. Okay, and one more thing if you want. So basically when you create APIs, a lot of times you want to test the APIs, like before moving on to the actual front end, before connecting your APIs to the actual front end, what you want is you want to test your APIs. So if you want to test your APIs, there is also a software that will help you, right? So either you can go for Postman or you can go for Insomnia. I personally like Insomnia, so I'll suggest you to use that. So you can just search for Insomnia download. It's basically a API testing tool. Okay, so just go on. Here you have the link. Just say download Insomnia. Okay, and after that, just click on this button. You'll again get a exe file. Double click next, and install it. Don't worry about using it. I'll tell everything how to use it. Right? I installed everything fresh for you, so don't worry about it. I'll show you how to install, how to work with MongoDB Compass. I'll show you how to work with Insomnia, and I'll also show you how to start with Node.js. So I was just telling about installation. So three things. First, Node.js, so that you can get the runtime. Second, MongoDB server, and also MongoDB Compass, so that you can start interacting with MongoDB. And then Insomnia, so that after creating the API, you can also test it before actually connecting it to the front end. So that's it. So either you can go for Postman. If you already have Postman, that's great. Or you can go for Insomnia. I personally prefer Insomnia, right? That's it. Previously, I have used Postman, but that's great. Okay, so you can either go for Postman or Insomnia. It's totally up to you. Okay, and then finally we come to the code editor. The code editor that I'm using here is VS Code. Again, it's totally up to you. You can use anything you want. It's just VS Code is one of the best code editors around the world right now, so that's why I'm using it. You can go for Sublime Text, Brackets, or Atom, or anything that you like. Okay, just don't go for Notepad. Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? Insomnia, Ayushi, Insomnia is a, you can say, API testing tool. It's a backend testing tool. Okay, it's not a your front end application. It's just a backend testing tool, so that you can test your APIs before connecting them to your front end. You can test whatever you can send request to Insomnia app. You can get responses. You can check how many responses you're getting, or how your response is coming from the server. So you can actually check your APIs that you have created. And don't worry, you'll see it today. I'm going to show you everything, so don't worry about it. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, can we move ahead now? Can we move ahead to creating the application now? Okay, so now we have already used half an hour, so we have 1 hour and we have to create the backend. So let's move on. Is that clear? It will be installed automatically, actually. Nikesh, it will be installed automatically. Okay, so you just have to like think that you see that you don't uncheck the Compass thing, right? So that is the only thing you have to follow. Otherwise, it is automatically installed. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Let me just change my internet connection, because this internet is working a little slow. So let me just change it for you. Just give me a second. I'll change. Yes. Okay, and now it has changed. Cool. Okay, then let's move ahead. There is no system requirement, Raghavendra. It's just simple Windows, Linux, or Mac. That's it. You can also go forward with 4 GB RAM, and I think 4 GB RAM is nowadays a standard. Everyone has 4 GB RAM, so yes, you can move ahead. Okay, then let's start it. So then let's go on desktop. and create a new folder. Okay, so I'll just create a new folder. So this is my second screen that you can see. So instead of going on desktop, I'll go inside somewhere and I'll create it for you so that you can see everything. So here I have desktop. I'll right click. I'll say new folder, and I'll say anything, like you can name it anything. I'll name the project nutrition. Okay, so I'm naming my project nutrition. I hope you can see my screen, and I'm basically unable to see you guys chat. Okay, great. So now I have a folder called nutrition, and I want to open this in VS Code. So I'll just go in my VS Code again, and I'll say file, open a folder, and then just go on desktop, and I want this folder. So now this is my folder, some project folder. Okay, great. Let it open. Let it give a second, and here we have it with no files, nothing at all we have here, because we are starting from very scratch. That's great. Now then, there are again few things that you have to install before moving on. Okay, but before that, I'll at least show you how to run a Node.js file. So that's very simple. Okay, so what you have to do is you just go on here, create a new file. So I'll name my file as index.js. Okay, very simple. Okay, just to confirm, everyone, you can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Is that clear, everyone? Can everyone see my screen? Please tell me, can everyone see my screen? Don't worry about the folder. I just created a folder named nutrition and dragged it into VS Code. But I really hope that you can see my code. Can you see it? Can you see the code size, or should I increase the size of the code? I'll just zoom it a little bit. Okay, and I really hope that you can see it now. Okay, please confirm. I hope now you can see it. Okay, I think I increased it, and now it's okay. I'll increase it one more, and I think now it's fine. Okay, cool. Then that's great. Let's move on. So the first thing is, I'm basically showing you that I'm actually going to run a JavaScript code outside the server. Okay, outside the browser. Sorry, outside the browser. Okay, so right now we're not in browser. We are not even going to run this page in a browser. We are basically running the JavaScript code that I'm writing just now outside the browser. Right, that is the use of Node.js. So let's see it. Let's write a very basic JavaScript code. So let's just say console.log. I am outside browser. Okay, and then I'll open my terminal in VS Code. So I'll just say new terminal. So here we have the terminal in VS Code, and I'll just say node. This command you get once you have installed Node.js. I got this node command once I've installed Node.js. Otherwise, this node command will not work for you, right? So node and the file name. So I'll just say index.js. Enter, and here we go. See, our code just got executed. I'm outside browser. That basically means we have actually executed JavaScript outside the browser, and that is really great. And it got possible with the help of Node.js. Okay, so that's amazing. But this is not what we are going to do here. We are actually going to build an application. So let's do that. Okay, now then, see, we have installed Node.js that will basically help us to run JavaScript outside the browser. But we are not only like here for that, right? We are actually here to create a complete API. And to create an API, you need a third-party Node.js package. There is a third-party Node.js package that we need to start creating an API, so that our Node.js application can actually handle requests coming from front end and can actually also give response to the front end, right? Is that clear? We are actually going to create an API. We're actually going to create a Node.js application that will be able to handle requests coming from a front end or coming from anywhere. And also our Node.js application will be able to send some responses to a particular client or somewhere, right? So that is what we are going to build here. Okay, then let's move ahead. So we need a third-party package, a third-party Node.js package. We need a third-party Node.js package in our application if we want to start creating APIs. That will help us to create a API in its simplest form. And the package name is Express. Okay, so now see, if you want to create an API, you can also like use an inbuilt module named HTTP module. It is an inbuilt Node.js module. By that, you can also create an API. But it requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of code. It does not have any inbuilt functions that will help you. right? That's why we have something called as Express. Express is nothing but a third-party package that makes it easier for you to handle requests, send responses, and so much that you can easily create an API. That's why we are not using the inbuilt HTTP module. We are using the Express module. It's a third-party package. Let's install it first. So to install a third-party package, you have to run a command named npm. npm stands for Node Package Manager. It also comes with Node.js. So when you install Node.js, you also get a npm command that will basically help you to install any third-party package in your computer related to Node.js, right? Okay. So then let's move ahead and say npm install Express. So this is one package that I'm using. So I wrote npm install Express. Now it will basically install Express package in my project. So let's see. And it will take a minute and it will install. Yes, Raghavendra, till the time it is getting installed, I'll explain what is an API. Now see, the full form of API is Application Programming Interface. See, now focus. Whenever I say API, see, API is nothing but a program. API is nothing but a program that gets executed, right? That's all. Application Programming Interface. So API is nothing but a program that will take some kind of input and give you some kind of output. That's it. See, even if you write a C program, that's also an API. So basically, you can call a function as an API. So any program that you write is nothing but a API. That's all. Now, depends on how you call it. Sometimes, like when you write in C, you run it there only, right? Now we are going to write some code here. So the code that I'm writing is nothing but the application programming interface. It's a program that requires some input and gives you some output. Now these programs will be called by some other resource. That's all. That's it. So if you say a API, it's nothing but a program that requires some input, maybe, and always gives you some output. That's it. That's all API is. The best question will be asking, what is a web service or a web API? Okay, so now see, you create a program that is an API. I want my program to be used by anyone in the world. So what I do is I took my program and launch it on a server. That's what we're going to do today. But it will be a local server. It will be just my computer. So basically, I will launch internally in my computer so that any other resource can call it and use that program and take the output that it is giving. So that's it. So the program I'm writing is the API. Okay, I launch it on the web and I give URL access to anyone. So anyone can write a URL and access my program and take the output of that program. So basically, you can say the client that wants to use my program is not seeing my program. He does not know what my program is. I just gave him a URL. Okay, please, you call this URL. Internally, this program will be called and you'll get the output. He does not know how the program is, right? So basically, his software is connecting with my program. That is a software, right? So basically, two softwares are communicating. So with the help of API or a web service, two or more softwares can communicate with each other without even knowing the code. So that is the best thing here. Is that clear? So API is nothing but a program, application programming interface. When I put it on the web and give a URL access of that program to anyone, that becomes a web service, right? So that's it, simple. Are we clear with the concept here, guys? Are we clear with the concept? And as you can see, we have also installed Express. So now we also have Express in our project, right? So after installing Express, so whenever you install a third-party package, you always get a folder named Node Modules. This is the place where all the third-party and inbuilt packages are stored. This is the place where all the third-party and inbuilt packages are stored. That's it. Is that clear? And this is a file named package.json, which keep tracks of all the packages that you have installed. That's it. Which keeps track of, like, it stores the project information as well as tracks all the packages that you have installed. That's it. You can see it here. If I just go down here, somewhere we should be getting package that we just installed. So see, it has the list of all the packages that are currently installed in my project. So whatever packages you have in this node modules folder, all the packages are listed here. And somewhere in this, your Express package is also listed. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared with this? So package.json is nothing but a file that stores the information about your project, the metadata of our project, and also all the packages that you're using, all the third-party packages and all the inbuilt packages that you're using. Is that clear? Okay. This is mainly for transfer of the project. Let's say I want to share my project with someone, but this node models folder is very big. It's like 90% of the size of the project is this node models folder, and I don't want to send this folder over internet because it will take a lot of time. So we don't share node models. We only share the package log.json file, and then the person gets the log.json file, and if the person just runs npm install, all the packages listed in package log.json file will be installed and a node models folder will be created. So that's it. That's the use of this package log.json file. I didn't create that. When I installed Express, the what you call the server, the Node.js server created it. I didn't create that. So whenever you install a package, it gets automatically created. You can also create it if you want, but see, whenever you install a package, it gets automatically created. Is that clear? So node model is the place where all the packages are stored. Package log.json is a file where all the information of packages are kept that you're using. So when you share it, you only share the JSON file, and the person can know what are the packages that you're using and what he has to install, because you have not shared the packages, actual packages. You have only shared the code and the information file. Is that clear? Is that clear? Because JBusa, because it has all the current packages, all the like, it has the information of all the current version of packages that you're using, right? So that's why the name is. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, then that's great. Now we can move ahead. Now we need one more package because we are also going to connect our Node.js application to MongoDB, right? So we need one more package for that. There is also a third-party package for that. So the package that we're going to install is npm install, and then the package is mongoose. So mongoose is a package that will help you basically to connect with MongoDB and interact with MongoDB. So let's just install it again. Okay. So let take a little time. It will install it for you. Yes, Faziolas, you can see it later. It will be on YouTube. Make sure, Polakam, you have wrote the spelling correctly or the information, what you call the Node.js is installed correctly. Please see to that, because it is a very simple command. It will always run. So just check it if you have installed Node.js correctly and npm is running. Okay, and now finally, see, now this package log.json is basically holding, like previously I said, it is the package.json. It's not package, it's package log.json. It is basically holding the information of all your packages. Now then, you can run one more command. Just if it is like, it's not mandatory, but you can run it. You can run one more command named npm init. Okay, it will basically ask you for few things. So basically, it will create a npm init will create a package.json file for you. It will create a package.json file for you, in which all the information related to your project will be stored. All the scripts you're using, all the dependencies, all the packages that you're using, and basically who is the author of the application and everything, right? So basically, npm init will create a package.json file which holds all the information about your project. So let's run it as well. So I see npm init. Now it will ask me a few questions. Okay, so now it will ask me a few questions. So see, it is asking, what do you want to name your project, the package name? So it's fine. I can write something else, or it should in like defaultly take nutrition. So I'll say, okay, fine, you take nutrition. Version 1.0.0. That's great. Description, nutrition project. Entry point index.js. Like this will be my first file. Test command, no test commands. Git repository, nothing right now. Keywords, not at all. Author, I'll just write Saurabh Gupta. License, not a problem. Is this okay? Yes. And you should get a package.json. Now, see, previously the thing was there, that was package log.json. Now, people can ask, what is the difference between these two? Now see, package log.json only holds what you call the information about the packages that you have in your project. Package.json holds the information of your package as well as information about your project, about your application that you have made, the name, uh, the author, the license, the version, and everything, right? So package log.json only holds information about packages, dependencies. Package.json holds the information about packages and also for your project. Now you can also ask why there are two files that are holding information about the packages. So one more thing to remember, what is the difference? Package.json only holds the information about what packages are you using when you installed them. Package log.json holds the information about what is the current package version. Say for example, I install an Express package today, right? I install my Express package today. The version is 7.1. So it will be stored in package.json that I installed Express and the version was 7.1. Now, and it will be also in package log.json. Now let's say in future, after 2 years, I renew my Express package in my project. I update it. Now the version is 8.1. So in package.json, it will still be 7.1. It only holds what package you had initially. Package log.json keeps the information about the updated version. What is the current version that you're using? Package.json only holds what was the package when you installed it for the first time. Package log.json holds what is the current updated version of that package that you're using. So that's it. That's it. That's the difference between package.json and package log.json. Is it clear to everyone? Are we cleared, everyone? Are we cleared? And now we have also installed two packages named Express and Mongoose. Now you can actually easily see it in here. If I just go down, see, in dependencies section, I can actually see Express and Mongoose. These are the two third-party packages that I installed. See the version. If in future I update it, these two things will not be updated. It will be updated in package log.json, not in package.json. It always holds the information about the packages when you installed it for the first time. Is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared with this, everyone? Now we can move ahead, right? Okay, then let's move ahead now. Okay, now let's start coding then. Please reopen the project, Sejal. I think it will work. Please reopen the project once, and I think it will work then. Okay, guys, can we move ahead now? Because now the installation for the backend is complete, and now we can actually move ahead. Okay, so please tell me, because we don't have a lot of time and we have a lot to build. Not at all, Nikesh, not at all. You'll not get any problem. It's just for the purpose of other developer when you share the project, right? So that is very important. Otherwise, if you have node modules, it's great. You don't need these two files. If you have node modules, everything will go properly. After Mongoose, I installed nothing. I just said npm init and gave the information about the project so that a package.json file is created and it has all the information regarding my project. For this time, even if you don't create it, it's totally fine. Okay, now then we installed two packages. Now let's do one thing. Let's import them in our index.js file and let's start using those packages. So to import packages, it's very, very easy. What you have to do is const, I'll say express equals, you have a require function in Node.js that helps you to import any of the packages. So require, the package name that I'm expecting is express, and that's it. So const express, this is my name, this is the variable name that I'm using, so that I can use express package using this name anywhere in the code, right? So const express require express, and this is the package name. So basically what this require will do, it will go inside the node modules folder, extract the express package and import it for me. And I'm storing the whole functionality of that express package in this express variable so that I can use it anywhere in my project, right? So this is the first thing that we are doing. Is this clear, everyone? Now then, the next thing that we want to import here is the Mongoose package, because we're also going to use that. So let's say const Mongoose. We are giving the same name so that it's not at all tough for us. Require which package? The package name was Mongoose again. So we'll just say Mongoose. So again, it will do the same thing. It will go inside what you call the node models folder and it will extract it for us. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. Yes, you can say it's aliasing. We're just giving a name for whatever functions we are getting from that package so that we can use it. Okay. Now then, let's move ahead and let's see the very first thing. Okay. Now then, the next thing that we have to do is we have to create a variable for our app so that we can actually create a server that will start interacting with any client. So the first thing we'll do is create a server, and for that you have to create an object of type express, and that's very simple. What you basically do is you can write anything. So the name of my object will be app. You can name it anything, and I'll say is an express object. So now this app is basically nothing but an object. Const, you can also write let, you can also write where, that's fine. Const, I am writing const because so that it cannot be changed, right? It cannot be changed, so that I by mistake don't change any of the data from it. Like in this case I will not, but it's just a safety, it's just a precaution of doing it, right? So that's why we do it, we write const instead of let or var. Is that clear? We generally write const whenever we feel we don't want to change this. So that's it. Is that clear, everyone? And for this, the thing that I'm getting here, this help warnings or help errors that I'm getting here is because of error lens extension. So you can just go in VS Code and download an extension named error lens. That is it. Those green things are nothing but warnings. Now these are green, that means they are normal warnings. It will not cause any harm. That's fine. If they are red, that means you have an error in your code, right? So that's it. You can just go on your VS Code and download error lens extension, and it gives you that. That's cool. Now then, I have an app object, and this is the object of an express type. That means it will give us all the functionalities of an express package. Now then, by using this express object, we can actually create a server. We can actually create what you call the routes that we want. We can actually create API endpoints and everything. So let's do the first thing. Let's create a server. Let's create a server and make it up and running. And that's very simple. What you just do is you just write app. See, I'm using that object dot listen. Basically, by doing this, I created an express server, a Node.js server, and I'm just saying my server will listen on 8000 port number, and that's it. Done. Is that clear, everyone? Are we clear, everyone? Yes, Tabnan is the extension, Aditi. So are we cleared with this code, everyone? Till now, whatever we have done, we just required express package, mongoose package, created a app object of express type so that we can use it anywhere. So basically we created a server and we said my server will listen on port number 8000. So now I can go in my browser or any front end tool, and I can just write localhost colon 8000, and this will give a response. It's a port number. It's a port number. In programming, there is something called as a port number that helps the clients identify for like where they are calling, right? So because at a single point of time there can be multiple servers running in a particular computer, right? So to identify which server I'm calling, you have identification of port numbers. So that's it. So yes, Ayushi, it is necessary. So let's say I'm running a Node.js server on port 8000. I might run a PHP server somewhere, right? So if I have two servers in my local computer, both are named localhost. So if I write localhost, the computer will get confused. Which one of you calling? Are you calling the PHP server or are you calling the Node.js server? So that's why they both will have port numbers. So for one, I can give port number as 8000. For the second one, I can give port number as 8001, right? And then if I say I'm calling localhost 8000, it will call the Node.js server. If I say I'm calling localhost colon 8001, it will call the PHP server. So port number is just a unique identification for servers. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, you can use 80. It's totally fine. You can use that. Not a problem at all. You can use 3000, 2000, anything. Is that clear? Okay, then that's great. Now let's do one thing. Let's create a very simple endpoint and let's see if this thing is working, right? So let's do it. So we'll just write app dot get. Okay, so basically when I add app.get, that means this method will be called when a get request is sent to the server. This method will be called when a get request is sent to the server. That's great. So app.get, and then I specify the route, the URL that the person should call this get functionality, right? So I'll just write, let's say slash demo, right? I'll just write slash demo, and that's it. And then I will write a function named request response, and then whatever functionality I want to perform here, I can write it here. Whatever functionality I want to say. Okay, so that's simple. app.get/demo. So now if anyone goes in the browser and writes localhost colon 8000 slash demo, first thing it will call, first thing anyone who wants to access my get route here, they have to call the server first. So now if anyone goes in the browser and writes localhost, that means they're calling my local server colon 8000, that means they're calling this server, and then slash demo, it basically means they are calling this get route. And when someone calls this get route, this function will be called, this function will be called, and this function already has the request object and the response object, right? So a request object will give you access to anything that is getting sent from the client, from whoever is calling this functionality. And by using the response object, you can send responses back to the client. You will learn it in a little time, don't worry. Okay, right now I'm just assuming you know a little about all this, but that's fine, right? Because see, it is not a tutorial, I'm not explaining like everything from very start, but that's fine, it is still from scratch. So I hope you're understanding this. Okay, because it is directly the project, it's not tutorial and then project, it's directly the project. So I'm really trying to hope that your guys are understanding everything here. Okay, so now if anyone goes on a client or a browser and just writes localhost colon 8000 slash demo, this thing will be called, and this functionality will be called in return, and whatever you write here will be executed. That will be your API, that will be your code. Kritika, it's up to you. How many servers, how many total servers are there? It's up to you. You can create n numbers of servers. It's not, there's no count for that. Facebook has a server, Google has a server, I have servers in my computer. So there's no count. It's basically where you are, how many servers you have in your local PC. You can create as many as you want. Okay, so that's cool. Server is not something like it is a fixed number. It's how many you created. Okay, then let's write something here and let's see if it gets executed. So let's just write console.log request fulfilled, or instead of this big statement, let's just write get request called. Okay, now then let's save it. Yes, you can also use Firebase Ayushi, but that is something we're not using right now. Okay, so now let's run this application first. Okay, so now see, you can see I have packages, I have the express object, and then I created a get route, and then I call this function. So if anyone accesses the get route using slash demo, I'll call this. So basically this is a functionality that will be called. This is a functionality that will be called, and our server is listing on port number 8000. So let's run this application. So node index.js. Okay, so this is how you run your file. So I'm running this file. Or instead of this, see, right now it is actually running. We are not printing anything because we don't have anything printed before calling the request. Or you can run it with one more command. You can also write npm start. It is again running. So you can write node index.js. So basically that is used. See this thing here, this where it is gone. I have not settled up the command. Don't worry, I'll settle it for you. Right now it is giving error that you don't have a script named start. Don't worry about it. I'll solve it for you. But before moving on to that, see, this node index.js will run only the index.js file, right? And this npm start basically is used to run the whole project at once. Right now I have not settled that up, and yes, in future I'm going to use node-mon9n, but let's start with node. Okay, I have not settled this up, I forgot about that. Don't worry, I'll solve it for you. For now, let's just say node index.js. Okay, and our file will be up and running. And yes, it is up and running. Right now I'm not getting anything here because It's just a normal thing. I have not printed anything outside. Now then, let's go in the browser. Okay, I should get a browser window for you. And let's get here and let's just write the same thing again. Localhost colon 8000 / demo. Now, whatever request you send using the browser URL, it will always be a GET request. So you don't have to worry about it. It is a GET request. Just press enter, and it is gone there. So you can see it. It has not stopped because it is not receiving any response. That's great because I have not sent any response. Okay. Let's get back here, and you can see here. See, you can see this message: get request called. That means this functionality is getting called. This get route is getting called, and this functionality is getting called. Are we cleared? See, this browser is still holding. This browser is still holding because there is no response that is coming from there, right? So we'll do that. We'll solve that. Not a problem at all. But I really hope that you can understand this, that this route is actually getting called now. Is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared? Now we'll also send a response so that the browser does not hang. Okay. Okay, then let's do that. Let's close this running of this application. Let's send a response. So to send a response, you'll use this response object. So I'll just say res.send, and let's send a very basic text response that response is done, something like this. So in the console, we'll print get request called, but as a response, I'll send response is done. So let's do it. Save it, and again go on the browser. Revisit this. Refresh. Oh, I didn't run the application. What do you want me to repeat, Vijaya? What do you want me to repeat? Can you tell me that? What do you want me to repeat? See, simple. I just go in my browser, call my server localhost colon 8000, and just put /demo so that this route is accessed. So basically that functionality, that request is calling this route. On that request, this route is getting called, and then I'm printing console dot, like I'm just printing get request called in my console because it's just a console.log. Now I'm also sending a response. Now I'm also sending a response. And now then, let's run the application again. Let's go in the browser and refresh the page so that a request is sent again. And now you can see in my browser, I'm also getting the response. Response is done. And as you can see, here also I'm getting my console.log printed. Is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared? Are we cleared how to call this? Are we cleared how to call our routes? Now, this is a very simple calling with the browser, but we are not going to use a browser to call it right now. We're actually going to use our Insomnia tool to call this route. So at least are we cleared with how to set up Express, how to create a server, how to give a port number to the server, and then after that, how to create a very simple route, okay, and call it. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Nikhil, what is your doubt, buddy? Please tell me your doubt, because I don't know from where I should start explaining. So just tell me what is your doubt, Nikhil. Okay, so pretty basic, pretty simple. Now you can see there is one problem that I'm facing. There is one problem that I'm facing here, and the problem is, okay, the problem is whenever I make any changes in my program, what I have to do is again quit my program here by using Control C and again run it using node index.js. We can actually solve that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to install one more package that will run behind, and what it will do is whenever I make any changes and I save my changes, the server will automatically rerun. The program will automatically rerun itself. I don't have to again go on and type node index.js. So the package that we want for that, so that the program can be rerun again and again, the package that we need for that is nodemon. So what you can do is you can again just go on and say npm install nodemon. We can do this. Okay, I have already installed it to save my time, and then instead of using node, you can use nodemon index.js. Press enter. Install the package, and that's it. We'll go around till 9:30 to 9:45. Okay, there's some problem. Again, there is some scripting problem I feel here that I'm facing. Okay, I think I have to again install it. So let me just install. I installed it actually, but I think in Windows I have to settle up some path. So let me install it again. So npm install nodemon. I actually installed it, but there is some path problem I feel, because this is a new Windows that I just installed in my computer. Previously I was using Linux. So yes, I'm still setting it up. So let me just Priya, please make sure that you're calling the right path. Please make sure that you're calling the right path. Yes, Aruna will definitely complete it. Don't worry. We will definitely complete it. I installed it previously, Aruna. Actually, Raghav, I installed using -g previously, but it still didn't work. So yes, I have to check that again. Previously, I installed it using -g only. I installed it globally only. But yes, there are a lot of packages that are behaving the same. So I have to solve some things in my Windows. But don't worry, I'll do it. Okay, then now we can actually go on and say nodemon index.js. It is still getting me problem. Oh, that is a problem. Okay, let me again do it using so globally so that I can use -g. Let me install it globally once again. We have till tomorrow, so we'll complete it tomorrow definitely. Not a problem at all. And we are going a little slow, I know, because it's just you people have a lot of doubts, and yes, I have to answer that, right? So not a problem. I'll solve it for you and I'll answer you. Okay. Now then, let's run it again. See, it is still giving me a problem. Okay, so this is a really problematic thing right now. Okay, not a problem. I'll solve it on my own after the lecture. Okay, so this is a very minor problem I'm facing. Let's normally do it using our node. So node index.js is fine for now. Nodemon is not working in my program. I don't know why. There might be some problem. Let me solve it afterwards. I'll not take your time. Okay then. Now then, I hope it is clear. Now let's move on, and then let's actually start with the connection, the MongoDB connection that we want, right? So let's do it. Is that clear, everyone? Can we move ahead? So now let's comment out this route, because route now we are not using it. Right now we are not at all using it. And then let's start with the connection. So now I already have a Mongoose package, as you can see, right? And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to connect our database. So let's first open that application that we all have, that we install, the MongoDB Compass. So let's open it. Let it open for it will just take a minute. So once you install MongoDB and Compass, this is the software that you have to use to start with MongoDB. No, Mark, you don't have to use require for nodemon. Nodemon is not a programming package, it's a tool actually. So you don't have to use that. I think it's there some kind of path problem in my Windows, because I just installed it 2 days back, 2 or 3 days back, or maybe a week back. So I still have to set it up. And there are a lot of packages that are behaving like this because the path is internally not getting set. So don't worry, I'll solve it. Okay, I think Sejal, your nodemon is getting installed, but there's some problem with your Express. So please see that you're writing everything correctly, your spellings and everything. Please check out that once. Okay, then after that, see again, your MongoDB server is named localhost because it's a local PC, and then the port number for MongoDB server is 27017. Just like our Node.js server was having a 8000 port number, you have a 27017. So let's perform connect, and here we go. This is our MongoDB Compass, the software that actually helps you to access MongoDB server in a more beautiful and designed way. Okay, I'll just zoom it for you, don't worry. And I hope now you can see it. Is it visible now, everyone? I hope it is visible now because I have made it very big. So then the first thing that you do here is you create a database. So now I'll name my database as nutrition. So database is a place basically where you will create all your collections, and collections will hold data. So the first thing that you create is database. Inside that you'll have collection, and collection will hold your data, and that's it. So my database name is nutrition, and I'm creating a collection named, let's say, food or foods, whatever you name it. database. Now it will take a minute and create a collection for you. Create a database and a collection for you. Okay. Now then you can see these three databases, admin, config, and local, by default come in it. Okay, so don't worry about them. This is the database that I just created named nutrition. And inside that, I have a foods collection that is empty. You can see there are 0 documents. Now, one more thing. What is a document? Document is nothing but an object of data. A single data here is called as a document, right? So basically a simple object which has, let's say, I will have name, age, or let's say for food, I'm going to store name, protein, carbohydrate, or something like that, right? So that single object is going to be called as a document in here, right? I'll show you actually a sample. So let's say this is a single data in which, like a simple JSON or object format, in which I have something like this: name, rice, uh, protein, let's say 20 grams, and let's say carbs 30 grams, something like this, right? So this simple object, but what you call as a document. So just like information about a single data, in the same case, you have documents. Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? No, Nikesh, food is not created automatically. If you see the video properly, I wrote the name food while creating the database. So while creating the database, the MongoDB Compass asks you to also write a name of the one collection that you want to create. So I just wrote foods in there. So this is how a document looks like. So this is what we're going to create after some time. So not a problem. Right now, if you see in here, in foods, you have 0 documents. If I click on this foods, I'm stuck. Am I stuck? Is it fine now, everyone? No, my internet speed is good. Is it fine now? Is it fine now, everyone? Are we cleared with this? Is it fine now? Please refresh your page, guys. If there might be some internet issue at your place also. So please refresh it if I'm stuck. Okay, and I have also refreshed it. Okay, so now I think we can move ahead. Okay, I'll tell you again, guys, if you have any of the problems. So I'll delete this collection, like I'll delete this database. Okay, so I'll just delete it. Now see, again, I'm creating. Please focus, everyone. So just click on create database. Okay, sometimes it takes a time. So just click on create database, write the database name. So in my case, it is nutrition. And then you write a collection name of one of the collections that you feel you will create inside it. Okay, so first write the database name. Now your database can have 10 collections, 20 collections, but while creating the database, MongoDB asks at least tell me one collection name that you want to create inside. So I just write, okay, I want to create one collection named foods inside it, and that's it. Create database. So it creates a database, and also inside the database there will be a collection by default that I just created, right? Foods, and that's it. Is that clear now? Are we cleared now, everyone? Okay, and now you can see this foods is having no data at all. There is nothing, but we are going to create it. We are actually going to create it. Is that clear? No, see, once you start it, instead of pasting your string, see, you might be having a right option on the right top that fill connection fields individually. Click on that and then press connect. Then that will work, Nikhil. Okay, click on that, and then after that you'll connect, and then it will work. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? And now then the next thing that we'll do is we'll fill some documents. We'll fill some data at least. Okay, so let's fill some data here. Right now we don't have any data, so now we actually have to fill data here. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Are we good to go? Can we move ahead now? So now then, before that, the first thing that we'll do is, first thing that we want to do here is we want to create a connection between our Node.js and MongoDB. So let's do it. We'll do it here on only. Now see, we have required the MongoDB package named Mongoose, and this is the object, this is the package object that we are going to use to connect with MongoDB. So let's start writing the code. So you have to connect your Node.js server to MongoDB server. You just have to write mongoose dot connect, and after that you have to write down the connection string for it, and that's very simple. Please follow up because we don't have a lot of time to like see everything, but that's fine. So what you have to write is MongoDB colon double slash the server name. So either you can write localhost because it's a local server, or you can also write the local IP address, that is 127.0.0.1. And remember, when we started, there was also a port number here. So you can write port number as, what was that port number? 270. I think it was something like that. Let me just open the compass again. I don't exactly. Yeah, it is 27017, right? So let's write it there. 27017. Okay, that's cool. So this is the connection string, MongoDB colon double slash. Then you can write localhost or you can write IP address. I personally prefer IP address. Okay, so 127.0.0.1 colon the port number of the MongoDB server, because now I'm connecting to that. I'm calling that server, right? So just like in my browser, I called Node.js server. So I wrote localhost colon 8000, the port number. In the same case, I'm connecting to the MongoDB server. So I'm writing that. It's not 207, it's 270. See, it's 27017. So I wrote that 27017. And now then you have to specify a few objects here. Okay, and those are use new URL parser. That is true. So that the new URL parser of MongoDB is used. And then one more that you have to use unified topology, and also make this true. And that's it. Okay, now this will return a promise. Once this function is called, it returns a promise that it is done or not. So what I do is I just called then. If it is working, then. So it is basically returning a promise. So if it is resolved, then please call this function. I'll just write console.log connector. So for people familiar with JavaScript, you'll be definitely knowing this dot then functionality. People not familiar with JavaScript, don't worry, you can still just go on my JS Essentials and watch my JavaScript. I've explained in very detail what is this then and everything. But right now I can't explain JavaScript again because we don't have that much time, as this is mainly about the project. Right? So mongoose.connect, MongoDB colon double slash 127.0.0.1, the port number, and then I specified two options that I'm using the new URL parser and unified topology. So if it is done correctly, if the connection is made, it is asynchronous, Nayan. It is asynchronous. You can see I'm using promises. So yes, it is telling me that it is asynchronous, right? Okay. In this, Isha, you will get in this. See, it is telling me host, localhost colon 27017. So you get in here, right? So that's it. It tells you where the MongoDB is currently running. So if this works correctly, in the console, you should get a message connected. So let's see if it is working. So now I have made changes, save it, rerun the program again. So I'm again running it, node index.js. And now I should get a connected message. And here you go. You see this connected message? It is coming because I have actually got connected to the MongoDB server. So now my Node.js application is actually connected to the MongoDB server. So now we have moved one step ahead. Now we know how to connect Node.js to MongoDB. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Can we move ahead now? Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? Okay. Now, next thing, we already have something. Okay, let me just comment it out. This is Mongo connection, right? So see, we are making a real-time thing, so it will take a little time. Okay, so that's great. That's fine. Now then, let's move ahead and let's do the next thing. That is, we have to create schema for that collection. Now, the collection that we just created is basically empty. It does not know anything. It does not have any data. It does not know what properties it will have, right? Just like in tables, you have columns. In my collection, I have nothing. It does not even have columns. It does not even have properties. like what am I going to store, right? So that is what we're going to create. We are going to create a schema for that collection, so that the collection knows what is the data, what are the properties that I'll have when I start storing the data, right? So let's write schema for foods collection. Okay, so let's create schema, and that's very simple. Create a variable named, let's name it food schema. Okay, equals, let's write new mongoose dot schema. Okay, and inside that you specify all the properties that your collection that is internally present is going to have. So in my case, it will have what you call a name, that will be a string, right? It's the type of the data that is going to store, that this property name will store. Then I should have the amount of protein. Okay, it will be a type number. I'll also, okay, the first thing that we need is calories, so we'll write calories, and it will also be a number. Okay, and then we'll also have carbs, that will again be a number, and then we'll also have fats, that will again be a number, and we'll also have fiber, that will again be a number. Okay, and I think that's it. We have all of it, right? And yes, a default weight, will also have a default weight. Okay, I think we don't need it, because I think we can directly store everything for 100 grams at first. Okay, so that's fine. These are all the things that we need here, or let's store it, not a problem at all. A default weight, nothing, there's no problem in storing that. So let's say weight, so it's a default weight. Again, it is a number. So that's fine. I'll again need a number. Weight is also a number. No, Chatrashwar, Node.js is basically a server that will interact with your client, and MongoDB is basically a database, right? And yes, I forgot, I capitalized them. So sorry about that. Like you can use it in capital, but that's fine. I don't prefer it. I mistakenly did that, so that's fine. I did that by mistake, so that's cool. Now you can see I have my schema ready, right? So this is the schema that my collection will follow. The collection I just created in my MongoDB server, the foods collection, it will follow this schema, this rule, that it will have these 6 or 7 properties. But then how will my collection know that this is the schema that he has to follow? So for that, we create something called as a model. For that, we create something called as a model, and that's very simple to create a model. So what we'll say, const food model equals new mongoose dot model, and then you can specify the collection name. Okay, you can specify the collection name. So collection name, you can see the collection name is foods. This is the collection name, right? Foods. So I'm saying this is my collection, and the schema that it is following is nothing but what? The schema that I just created, food schema. And that's it. And by this code, my foods collection will understand that I have to follow the food schema. And when I mean that collection will follow food schema, that means it will only allow these 7 properties inside the collection and nothing other than this. Right now, we are not using React Savage. We'll use it tomorrow, because right now we are only building the backend. Are we cleared, everyone? Are we cleared, everyone? Booza, not at all. Personally, to write database properties, I prefer lowercase things. But yes, if I feel like I'm going to have multiple word name, then I just do the next thing in uppercase. That basically means I'm following camel casing. That's it. So it's just a naming convention. Some people use underscore. Some people go for camel casing. So that's it. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared, everyone? So I have created a schema, and I create a model that basically makes sure that my foods collection is going to use the food schema. Okay. Now then, so now we have the connection live. Now we have the schema ready. Now we have the connection between the collection and the schema ready. And now we can move ahead with creating the route that will start storing the data. Now we are going to get data. Now basically a client will store data, right? A client will store data, or some kind of client is going to store data. So a client again needs a route if he wants to store data, right? And when a client wants to store data, he basically sends a post request. So to handle post request, we go for app.post. So basically I'm assuming that a post request will come on this route slash create. So I can also write slash food slash create, something like this. So someone has to call localhost colon 8000 slash food slash create, and then this functionality will be called request response. And let's send a very dummy response like response.send. You can also send a JSON object instead of just sending a string. You can say status food stored, something like this. Right now, we are not storing any food, but that's fine. So now see, I'm assuming that a client will call a request named food slash create, and the client will also send some data, right? So whenever someone requests for something and he is also sending some kind of data, right, for creating purposes, then we always go for post request. We don't go for get request. Okay, we only go for get request when you want to fetch data. See, these are the different kind of requests. So a client will request a get request when he thinks I want to fetch data. A client will do a post request when he wants to create some data. So for creating, we have a post request. For updating the data, we have something called as a put request. For getting data, we have something called as get request. So right now I'm using a post request because I'm going to use this route for creation purposes. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? So that's why I'm not using get, because this route is not going to see. I can use any route anywhere. It's totally up to me. It's just a convention to follow. Whenever you are going to create data, you always go for post request. Okay. Now then, let's test this route. And now I'm not going to use browser to test this route. I'm going to use Insomnia tool. So let's open that tool as well here, and let's use it. If you see Chatrashwar, you can see it properly. I'm calling my post get everything using the app object, and that app is nothing but the object of what? Express, right? So that basically means we are using Express to create the app object, and app object is helping us to create the endpoints that we need. See, we use the Express object to create app object, and then after that, that app object is helping us to create these routes, post, get, and everything. So yes, that's why Express is required. Express is basically helping you to create these endpoints. Okay. I'm showing you the line, Nikhil, if you want to see it. And now then, Insomnia is up and running. It is taking a little time. Okay, that's great. So I was previously using it. That's why it is there. So let me just zoom it for you. And I think you can see it now. I really hope that you can see it. Can everyone see it now? Guys, can you see it? Now I'm going to move ahead and let's create a new request. So this is the place where you can basically create, or you can also go on dashboard, and let's create a folder actually. So I'm going to create a folder that will hold all my requests that I'm going to pass to this particular project. So for a particular project, you can create a particular folder. Okay. So you can say I'm going to create a request collection. Okay. And I'm going to name it, because I'm going to send request using Insomnia tool. So I'll name it nutrition again, because this is for the nutrition project. Create. And here we have, I'm inside the nutrition project. Now then I can go here and I can say I'm creating a new request. So new request, you can name it anything. So I'm going to name it create food, and it will be a post request. So I'll select a post, create, and here I have this route. Basically, by having this, what I can do is I can come here anytime and I can use this route. I don't have to create the testing route again and again, again and again. I can come anywhere, anytime here and use it, because I have stored the request thing. Okay. Now then you have to specify the URL that this request will go on. So the URL is localhost colon 8000. That is my Node.js server. Slash. What was the route? The route was slash food slash create. So let's do that. Slash food slash create. Okay. That's cool. Right now I'm not sending any body because I'm not sending any data in this case. I just want to send this and I want to see if I'm receiving this response, food stored. Because right now I'm not doing anything inside the function, right? I'm just getting in the response. Okay. Aruna, that route is something that the user will call, because we can have a lot of routes, right? Route is, you can also call it route, a way to access a particular functionality. Yes, Muskan, you can use Postman. So see, for the people who are very new, a route is nothing but, you can say, a route by which you are calling this functionality. So you have to call this route or route to access this functionality. Is that clear? You can have to call this route to access this functionality. That's it. That's it. Done. So now I'm calling my server localhost colon 8000 slash food slash create to access this route, and see, my type of request is post. So that's amazing, because this route type is also post. So I have to send a post request if I want to access this. And then this functionality will be called, and we should at least get food stored as a response. So let's do it. Let's send this. Send. Okay, there's a problem. I think it's not running. I made changes, but I didn't rerun the application, right? So let's save it and let's rerun the application. So node index.js connected. I also got connected. That means it is working. Database is also connected. And now let's move on. Send. And here we go. See, we get the response, food stored. That basically means that route is working. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? So remember, this is the server name because you're calling the server, and this is the route that you're calling onto that server. This is the route that you're trying to access, food slash create. I will post my code. Don't worry, guys. I'll post my code on the community. But just tell me, are you understanding this? See, for people who are very new, it will take a lot of time to understand, but that's fine. You'll still see it. Is everyone understanding this? Now the next thing will be storing the data. Now the next thing will be actually storing the data. Are we cleared with this, everyone? Please tell me, are we cleared with this? To Ayush, to stop running the code, you just have to press Control C in the command. That's it. Just press Control C and it will stop. Now then, let's say I will also send some JSON data from here. So I'll say JSON. So through with the request, I'll also send some data. So let's say I'm going to send this data. Name. Let's say rice. Okay, I'll copy the same properties actually. So let's go on here. Copy the same properties from here and we'll change the data. So basically I'm sending a data. I'm just trying to see if I can get that data in the backend. Okay. So let's go on Insomnia, and with the request, I'm also going to send some data now. So let's do it here. Okay. So now the name, I'm saying that name will be rice. Calories, because it's a number, so I just have to write double quotes. Or you can write double quotes actually, because internally it will be stored as numbers. So calories, let's say 45. It's a dummy data right now. I'm not confirming that this data is correct. See, in browser, you can only call a post request Chatreshwar. That's why I didn't check in that browser. Okay, in browser, whenever you write something in the URL bar, it is a get request. So from browser, you can test a get request, but you cannot normally test a post request in the browser URL bar. That's why we have such tools like Postman and Insomnia, right? That's why we have tools like this, because you cannot test everything in the browser. You can test only get request in the browser and not post and everything, right? That's why we have this tool where you can call any kind of request: get, post, put, update, delete. Not a okay, there's nothing called update. It's just get, post, put, patch, deletes any request. Okay, so let's say protein is 12 grams, carbs is 34, fats in this case are 12 again. Let's say fiber in this case can be again 12, and let's say the weight of the food was 100 grams. And also I have to put this in double quotes, the properties, because I'm sending a normal JSON data, right? It's your personal preference, Omkar. It's just I prefer Insomnia over Postman. It's just a personal preference. You can use anything. I like Insomnia.
Sir,
That's why
sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Gargi, please say.
Sir, actually, so sorry to interrupt, but actually we need to end up the session because we are like exceeding the time. We were supposed to end the session by 9:30. So I think we need to wrap up the session now.
Okay, can
Yeah.
we just take 5 minutes, or we have to wrap up right now?
Sure.
So can we
No,
take
no, we
five
can
minutes?
like exceed it to 5 more minutes. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
then please. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, guys, so this is our data, and now what we have to do is we have to check. See, Ansari, this is from, like, I'm just sending the data. Once it goes in Node.js, with the help of my schema, it will be stored as a number. So don't worry, Ansari, don't worry. It's because JSON, that's why I'm putting everything in double quotes, right? Okay, that's why I'm just putting it in double quotes, because it's right now JSON. Once it goes in the Node.js backend, and once it follows the schema, it will be converted to number by like the help of that schema. So don't worry at all. But when you send the JSON data, you always have to put everything in double quotes mostly. Okay. Now then, this is the data that I'm sending. But now I also have to see how can I receive this data in the backend. How can I actually receive this data in the backend? So we also have to write code for that. So now the first thing that we have to do is we have to also tell our express object that you might get data. You're also going to get data. So please be prepared for that, and always convert your data into a proper object. Because see, whenever you send data from the front end, it will come as a complete string. It will come as a complete string in a very unreadable format, right? Whenever you send data from a front end or from a client or from an API testing tool, it comes in the backend as a completely unreadable string. But we want to make it readable so that we can read it and use it. So basically what you'll do is you say, okay, please express object use a middleware called express.json. So I'm basically telling my express object to use this middleware named express.json. So now any request that comes with data, this middleware express.json will make sure that JSON is converted to a proper readable object. That unreadable request data is converted to a proper readable object. So now anytime a data comes from the front end, it will be converted to a readable object. That's it. Okay. So now I have applied this middleware, and that's very easy to apply middleware. It's very easy in Node.js. You just have to write the Node.js object, that is app.use, and this is the middleware that I'm using, express.json, and that's very simple. Cool. Then now we can just go on here in my request where I'm getting the data, and whatever data you send comes under request.body. So just to check if you're getting the data, we'll just press console.log request.body, because it is coming under request, right? Whatever request comes from the front end comes in a request object. So basically, to print that data, you just have to write request.body. That's it. This body is the object in which all the data comes in, right? And everything that comes from the client comes inside the request object. That's why we just print request.body. Save it, rerun the application. Now, first we should get connected. That means we are connected to database. And now then, let's call this request again. And now we're also sending data. So if this data gets printed on the console here after calling the request, that means we are sure that data is coming. Let's see. Send. We got the response food stored. That's great. But am I printing it on the console? And yes, we are. You can see it here. Here we go. We are getting the exact same data in here in the Node.js server. That means we are actually able to send data from the front end to the back end. And now the last thing that we have to do is we have to store this data into the MongoDB. And that is very, very, very simple. Let's do that as well. So let's do one thing. Let's first store this request.body in a simple variable so that we can use it normally. Okay. So let's go on here and let's say const food, because it's a food data. So I'm naming it food. So const food. That's it. Done. Okay. So const food. Are we cleared with this, guys? Are we cleared with this? Is it confusing to anyone? I just stored whatever object was coming from the front end in a variable called food. Now, to store it in the MongoDB collection, the first thing that you have to do is you have to create a model object. We created a model, right? If you remember, we created a model. See, this was the model that we created. So we have to create a model object, because that object is going to help us to store the data. So let's create a model object. So it's very simple. You write, let's say, let food obj, or obj, that means food object, or you can name it anything, equals new. Okay, simply just write new and the model name. So what was the model name? food model. So that's it, simple. New food model, and then pass the object that you got from the front end, the data. So I'm passing food, this thing. Basically, I created a model object, and now the last thing I have to do is call a save function that is very simple, and we'll save it in then our MongoDB database. So let's check it out. So I created food object. So let's write food obj dot save, and if it is saved, if it resolved, then what we have to do, we have to send a response. But what I'll do is I'll just copy this response and paste it here, so that the response is sent whenever the food is stored, and that's it. So just 3 lines of code and everything should be working now. Let's check it out. Now you see the first line. On the first line, what I did, let me just, yeah. So on the first line, I extracted my food from request.body and stored it in a food object. Then I created a food object. Sorry, I stored it in a food variable. Then I created a food object that is basically the object of the food model. And I passed my food data there, the food variable. And then I call food object.save that should save my data into the database. And if it is saved, then please send this response to the front end. That's it. Will the express middleware make readable code for computer? For us, because we want to read it, right? So it basically converts into an object, proper readable object. So it's for us also and for the model also, so that it can store the data internally. So Aruna, it's for both of us. For us, so that we can read it, and for the model object, so that it can read it easily. Because model object requires a proper object, not a string, not an unreadable string. It requires a proper data, proper object in a proper format, right? So it's for us also and also for the model. Save it now and let's see if our data is getting stored. So make sure right now our MongoDB collection is completely empty. You can see it. There's nothing here. Now then, let's go on Insomnia and let's call this thing again. Send. And we are still getting the response. That means something is working. Let's go in MongoDB. Okay, there is some problem. It is not saved. Let me just click on this again. Refresh this. I think I have to refresh it. Refresh. Okay, still I have nothing. That means there is a problem, or it is hanging a little. Okay, I have nothing actually. There is some problem I feel that we are facing. I don't know what. We got our food. Then we just simply said food object equals to new food model food, and then simply saved, and it should work actually. Is the object named correct? Oh, I didn't rerun the application. Sorry for that. Right, I made changes in code, but I didn't rerun, right? I thought it ran automatically. I'm so sorry. Let's run it again, because we don't have nodemon, right? So I forgot that. That's great. Save the code, run it again, and now let's see again. Send. That's great. We are getting the response, and now hopefully we should get our data. Refresh the MongoDB. We're still not getting it. Why is that? Is there an error? There's no error here. This is strange. Okay, there is one problem. There is one problem. Last problem. We didn't specify the database name that we want to connect to. We only specified the server, MongoDB server. But the only thing that we didn't specify is the database name, right? So what we have to do is slash which database you want to access. That is something we forgot. So save it. So see, this is what we forgot. The database string, the connection string of the server, and then slash nutrition, which database you want to connect. That's it. That was the problem, guys. I feel that was the problem. Okay, so let's do the last run. Run it again. Go in Insomnia. Send it again. We are getting the response. That's great. Let's go in MongoDB. Refresh. And now we have it. So that was the problem, guys. See, name, calories, protein, carbs, fats, fiber, and automatically generated unique ID that all documents will have. So this is what we call a document. this is a single document. Is that clear, everyone? This is a single document. So the thing that we forgot was, while writing the connection string, we forgot this, specifying the database, because our server has multiple databases. It can have 10 databases. We have to mention which database I'm trying to access. So basically in the string, you have to put slash the database you're trying to access, and that's it. Now you can see in your MongoDB you have this data, and now you can send as many requests as possible, and you have this data, right? So for tomorrow, I'll actually already I'll fill 10 to 20 data by default, so that I don't have to do that tomorrow, and we'll start with fetching and creating the front end. So that's it for today, and I hope it is clear to everyone, right? I hope you guys enjoyed the session. You learned something new. So please tell me, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the session. Please tell me how was it in the chats, and I really hope that you are excited for tomorrow, because we are going to complete the front end tomorrow, right? I'm great, Manasha. I'm really great. So happy to see you again. Okay, so see, this session will be a little tough for people who are just like starting with things, because I think there are a lot of people from me who are just don't even like know Node.js and now still are watching the session. So it will be a little tougher for you, but that's fine. You can still attend it. I will still take my time to solve all your doubts. So don't worry. Even if you're a newbie, even if we take a little time to complete the project, I'll still solve all your doubts, right? So don't worry about it. And I'll upload the code on community, so don't worry about it at all. And we'll meet tomorrow, right? And we'll complete this session. We'll complete the whole project. Okay, everyone? So then bye-bye from my side. Are you there, Gargi? I think we can end the session now. Have we ended the session, Nick Kirtana? Gargi, can you hear me? Kirtana, Gargi, can you hear me? I think we are still live, guys. Not a problem.